Welcome back. I'm Teresa Harding. Today we're talking about this intricate dance of emotions and conversations. We've all been there and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's especially during those challenging moments when the conversation becomes difficult. We've been there, those heart pounding, sometimes palm sweating moments when our emotions threaten to boil over. It might be that we want to cry. It might be that we want to get angry. It might be that we want to throw something, especially during tough conversations. Whether it's at work, with friends, or within our families, these conversations are inevitable. They're going to happen. Yet, it's not the conversation itself, but our emotional response to it that often determines the outcome. So, how can we master our emotions and navigate these discussions with grace, with effectiveness? Here are a few insights. I'm going to give you 7. Number 1, self awareness. Recognize and acknowledge your own emotions. Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling hurt? Are you getting defensive? By naming the emotion, you can create a momentary kind of a detachment, which allows you to address it rather than letting it drive the conversation. The second one is deep breathing. It sounds simple and it can sound a little bit weird in the moment because you don't have to do it all big where everybody can hear. But it is a powerful tool. When emotions start to surge, take a deep breath. This act not only gives you a moment to collect your thoughts and kind of think about what you want to say, but it also helps calm your body's physiological response. You're in fight or flight in some way, and it's helping calm that down. The third thing is active listening. Often our emotional reactions are amplified because we're already formulating a response before the other person has finished speaking. And a lot of times that happens because they started trying to talk when we weren't done and we didn't like it. So now we want to make sure we're heard. And it just kind of goes back and forth. It's like a tennis game. By genuinely listening, you can better understand their perspectives and you'll be able to respond more rationally. The fourth one is to avoid assumptions. I know this one works because guess what? When I make sure I don't do it, it makes a huge difference. But also, this is the one that gets me riled. When other people are assuming things about what I meant or what I said, they're making judgments about it. I don't like it. And it can escalate my emotions. Emotions can cloud our judgment, leading us to make assumptions about the other person's intent instead of asking clarifying questions, staying calm, seeking to understand before we're seeking to be understood ourselves. It is crazy in a conversation how when you seek to understand someone else and they're frustrated or upset, and your feelings matter too, but when you seek first to understand them, all of a sudden they are more willing to want to understand you. The fifth one is practicing empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. By trying to understand their emotions and their viewpoint, why would they feel that way? What has led to this? You not only build rapport, but you also often find common ground with them. The sixth one is choose your words carefully and wisely. Words have power. So it's important to learn how to say words in a way that it becomes beneficial for everyone involved. Avoid accusatory language like you always or you never. When you use absolutes like never or you almost always, that doesn't help. Instead, use I statements such as I feel this or I observe this, which expresses your feelings without placing blame. Now, a lot of times I find that I'm working with people and they think that they're sharing their feelings and they say, I feel like you think this. If you are telling the other person what they think or what they feel or what they're trying to do, you are not talking about your feelings. You're not talking about your emotions. You are wanting to place blame. And it's hard. And what happens is when we start to notice that in ourselves and we try to stop doing it, one of the first things that happens is we get defensive inside of ourselves and we think, well, yeah, but I deserve to be heard. Yeah, but my feelings matter. Yeah, but they were doing this. So just realize we'll get to that part too. What is going on for you is important. But that gives you no right to start talking to someone else in a rude or cruel or obnoxious way. The seventh one is knowing when to pause. This is really important, and this is one that I constantly work on because I have no problem coming up with words. I have no problem coming up with things to say. But if emotions are running too high, it's okay to suggest taking a break and revisiting the conversation later. Or it might even mean in the middle of the conversation that somebody doesn't have to be talking every second. You might ask a question and people are thinking about the question. or someone gives an idea and people are thinking about the idea. Someone doesn't have to chime in immediately every time there's any silence. What this does is it allows both parties to reflect and approach the discussion with a clearer mind. So just remember that emotions aren't inherently good or bad. They just are. In fact, they add richness to our lives. You might think, well, yeah, but being angry is bad and being happy is good. No, what happens is those emotions are just an experience we're having. And then we put a label on whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. If I just went through a failure in my business, I can think, oh, this is bad. This feels bad. I feel sick that this happened. I lost this money. It didn't work. Or I can think, okay, now there's one more way that doesn't work. Now I know what I'm doing next. I know I'm not going to do that one. And I will tell you that when you first hear that, you might think, like you're really going to think that. I will tell you, I didn't think that at the beginning. After years and years of growing businesses and having failures where I learned that failure actually is what leads to success, you bet I'm fine with failure now. It doesn't make it easy. I don't love the feeling, but I know exactly what it's doing for my business. Emotions are something that make our interactions more genuine, more heartfelt, and help us connect with other people. However, the key lies in not letting those emotions override logic and understanding during challenging dialogues. So it doesn't matter when those emotions arise, because they are going to come. Mastering our emotions during tough conversations is basically akin to navigating a ship through stormy seas. The sea isn't always going to be calm. And if you know how to navigate it, you just recognize, oh, the storm is coming. Okay, now I know what to do. And we can't control the storm. We can adjust our sails to ensure that we reach our destination with understanding, with clarity, and with mutual respect. Now, as you step out into your daily interactions, I want you to strive not for emotionless, but for emotionally intelligent conversations. Because no matter how difficult, they will lead to growth, understanding, and strengthened bonds. Because I don't want you to just think different. I want you to be different.